In this episode, we're building your player, adding a sprite, setting up physics, and writing a movement script. And at the end, we're going to test it all. Let's start. First, how we're going to do this. I already did a few preparations and I will show you now how to do them. So first, we are going to go into Unity Asset Store. How we're going to do this? We are going to go assetstore.unity.com. By default, you will not be signed in, so you will have to sign in. But be careful, this has to be the same account that you are using in the Unity Hub, as you can see clearly. So, what you are doing here, you are going to sign in with your account. Then you are going to click out of this tab and go into this link, which I will put in the description below. You are going to add it to our project. Then you are going to go into Unity, to your project which we created in the last lesson. Then you are going to go into Window, Package Manager, and then you're going to import it. How you're going to import it? You just press the import button, but in the import settings, you have to delete an option called demo. Then we are going to organize our project pane. How we're going to organize it? We are going to separate everything into folders. So with the new folder that you created here, I called it 2D extra. How you're going to create a folder here? You're going to right click in the project pane, create and folder. So I created a folder with GFX, MISC, prefabs, scenes, scripts, settings, and SFX. SFX prefabs and scripts, they should be empty for you, but I will show you now how to add them. SFX and prefabs in a later video, and I will explain to you what are prefabs. Now, prefabs are just a way of storing an object to use it later. How we're going to do this? It's a bit of complex for now. We will go over in later episodes as we do not need it now. So just create a folder called prefabs and settings. Settings, I think it will already be automatically created for you, but MISC, you just create it and put these three objects in: default volume, input action, input system actions, and universal render pipeline global settings. Then once you have done all that, we are now ready to create our player. How we are going to do this? First, uh, how? So we are going to go on our hierarchy. We are going to create empty. Then we are form reset property position. So we clear the player's transform. Then we are going to create. We are going to create an object under this. We're going to create a child. 2D object sprites square. Right? Very amazing. We're going to call this GFX. So now the GFX is a child of our player, and we can import and we have a component here called Sprite Renderer. In this Sprite Renderer, we are going to go into the the pack which we just downloaded. We're going to put sprites. Then we just put player inside here. I will tell you why this works now. See, here it is sprite mode multiple, but if it is single, it will not work. This is because we just downloaded a ready pack from the asset store. So that is why. Uh, I will go over this in a much later part of Unity series. For now, this is a bit too advanced for you. So now that we put it there, how we're going to do? We first want to introduce how we're going to let our player move. This is the question. We are first going to let him interact with the physics, so he can move left and right? Because we're on a platformer. We're going to add component. We are going to write Rigidbody2D. If we do this just now, if we do this and run the game, we are going to see that he falls down. Take a look. Our player falls down into the void. So how we're going to solve this? We don't actually need to solve this, but actually we do. We just go gravity scale and set it to 0. That's it. Now the player, he won't react with gravity. And also, let's give him a few constraints. Let's freeze position. Actually, let's not freeze position, uh, and not freeze rotation. We'll just leave it there. So now we want to let our player actually move. So now we're going to do, because of the new input system, it is a bit harder to control our player. How we're going to do this? We're going to go input, player input, just player input, put player input here, and everything is good to go. Then what we can do is we can create our first script here. So I already made this, but I will delete so that you can see how a script is created. So basically, a script is a component that allows us to do custom things with our object. So we're going to click add component and call this player movement. New script, create and add. By default, it will add it into the registry of scripts. Then if you don't have a file editor, you just click edit preferences, external tools. By default, just put it Visual Studio 2019, and then wait a bit if you need to wait. Then you double click on player movement. So once this loads, I will show you basic Unity functions here. So how do Unity functions work? These are default functions by Unity that run at specific times. So you have void update and void start. Void update runs every single second of your game, and I will give you a quick example of this. So if we go debug.log, debug.log writes a message to the console, which I showed you last lesson. So we just do hi from update. So now that void update is done, now you will see how it works. So take a look. It will show you hi from update, and you see how it floods our console. That is a problem, because if you have a low computer space, low computing power, for example, you're running on an i3, it can crash your PC. So how you're going to now, I will show you the difference in update. So update just runs once at the start of the game. So I will show you now how. You just write debug.log hi from start. Then take a look at this. It will run only once. Here I forgot to mention that there is a specific way that you have to program in C#, because C# has its own special syntax, like Java, and like almost any other programming language. And I forgot to teach you that in this episode. So I recommend that you go into the description below and find a series called Brakis, made by Brakis. He will teach you everything you need to know about C#, and you will know how to program in Unity, as Unity is made in C#. But before, they used to be able to program in something like Python, which is called Boo. They deleted it, so I'm very sad that they did that. Anyways, back to the recording. So take a look. Hi from update, hi from start, and it even gives you the line exactly in the console. Hi from start. Great. So now we are going to need to start to write the code. I have prepared the script beforehand, and I will explain to you how it works. So, if you take now, if we come here and we delete everything, but actually we don't need to delete everything. We'll just delete these comments because they are extra, and I just explained you these two. So look, by default we will need a few things. We will first need public float speed. The speed just determines how fast we move. Then uh, then we're going to need to create a reference to a rigid body so we can allow him to actually move around. So we're going to go public Rigidbody2D RB2D. Now here comes the tricky part. So look, we have the Rigidbody2D and the speed, and then the jump force. I will cover this in part B of this episode. So we are going to have a float called moveX, because why we are going to have moveX? Because we are only going to be moving in moveX on the X position, since this is a platformer. Public, no, this is a private. I will now explain to you the difference between private and public variables. Private float move x. So what the hell we just wrote now? So we now just declared variables. So what are variables? Variables are ways of storing data. What is data? If you don't know, I'm very sorry for you. You are not capable for programming or software engineering at all. Basically it's just a way that we store data. Data يعني is information that is processed by the computer. So just think of them as container. So float is a type of number. Float just means number with decimal. This is a float. An integer is just a single number. You got it? Got it. Rigidbody2D is a component in Unity. This is not directly linked with C#. If you want to learn C# programming, I recommend you watch Bracky's videos on C#, which I will link in the description below. As with everything, as with every resource that we need for today's episode, it's all found in the description. And let's continue. So now we are going to need a way to get input from the player, since we want to move when we press يعني certain keys. Here input here in the new later Unity versions as 6 and time and later, I really don't like them because I am used to the old Unity input system where you just have input, where it's way more easier to do, where it's way more easier to manage. But this is just for cross-platform even. I will show you how to add cross-platform movement in a later episode, I think in part C or something else. So now we are going to get movement. So public, but first we need to add the using tag. Using Unity engine dot input system. So basically, I spent a lot of time waffling and I made many mistakes. Basically, I will walk you down through the system that we did. Basically, we got a one dimensional system where we could move only on X. This is the way that I settled on. The other system was for basically up, down, left, and right games. So for Zelda type games, basically, just follow what I am going to show you right now. Okay, so I have found the solution. So now I have got arrow keys working, and I have got WASD keys working. So now I will show you the solution and the final solution, which before I will cut that old one and I will show you the full one. So this is just a note to the editor. So take a look. Now in the editor script I changed a few things. So I have speed and I have the same thing. I created an input action and input action asset. Keep those in mind. I made a void awake where I get the move action from, and I made this action which I will show you now after I explain. So just copy it. I will link the project files in GitHub, then or on Google Drive. I'll just put it in a link in the description, don't worry. So I kept everything, but here I changed move X to read a float. So how we did this, take a look. I will went into the input system, and I changed this move into a control type of axis. Then I made a binding, then it actually first it gives me an axis. It changed everything to an axis. So take a look. I will make a new one called move, just to show you. Move, it's a different one. It's a value. It's control type axis, and then it will just be, it will have a few bindings. So you will have positive and negative binding, and under it you will have negative and positive. You can just do negative here, listen, just do the left arrow, and then positive, do the listen, right arrow. Then what you can do, you can duplicate this and make it for you can change the, you can make it A, and you can make it right. Done. So now you have the same setup as I do. So this is the setup I did, and now everything should work. In the next episode we will be focusing on giving the player animations, and I will see you in the next episode.